Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Do you feel stuck, silent, and stressed? Is something hurting your heart and soul? Are you burning yourself out? If so, you are in the right place because this is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with inner peace and joy. Let's get started. Hey, last episode, I was sharing with you the idea of unconditional love, how we can express and treat everyone with unconditional love. And one of the keys to our being able to live out this idea of unconditional love towards all is to remember that treating people with unconditional love and thinking about them with unconditional love in terms of we think about them and the way that we treat them is unconditionally empathetic, is unconditionally compassionate, it's unconditionally respectful of their rights. It does not have to depend on or be restricted to just those people that we experience that sense of warm, fuzzy feeling towards. In fact, it cannot be dependent upon who do we feel that warm, fuzzy feeling for, right? Because there are probably a very limited number of people in the world that we will find ourselves experiencing that warm, fuzzy feeling towards. I was reminded of a saying that one of my teachers shared. I think she was my teacher. I cannot remember who the saying is from. I really cannot. But anyway, I'll share the saying with you. And it basically said something to the effect of, I love everyone unconditionally, but you have to earn my liking. I love everyone unconditionally, but you have to earn my liking. When I heard this saying, there's something that just clicked in my mind about this idea. There are a couple of really important points that I want to highlight that in terms of lessons that emerge from if you look into the wisdom behind this, behind the saying that I love everyone unconditionally, but you must earn my liking. So at one level, it's consistent with the idea that I've been telling you about. It's like love everyone unconditionally. Love everyone unconditionally. It's like regardless of the way that they treat you, regardless of whether you experience that sense of warm, fuzzy feeling towards them or not, you treat everyone with unconditional love. You treat everyone with unconditional love. However, you have to earn my liking. You have to earn my liking. So when I like you, what are we really talking about? What am I talking about when I like you? So when I like you, I'm talking about, I definitely have more of that warm, fuzzy feeling, right? But also it's this sense of affinity. It's like when I like someone, I want to hang out with them. I want to have them be a presence in my life. the person that I like, the people that I like are the ones that I am going to go the extra mile for, to make sure that we stay engaged, that we stay connected. These are the people that I will seek out to work with, that I will seek out to to engage in meaningful projects with, so that we can continue to stay connected and deepen our relationship even more. See, but it's like with this kind of liking, when you are talking about relating to someone at this kind of level, this kind of liking really has to be earned. See, because I may see, this was sort of like also an example that I gave you in part last episode, that, let's say you go to a party and there are 100 people that are present there. There may be some people that you find yourself immediately drawn to, and others that you won't be. Okay, so now it's like, okay, well, when you're immediately drawn towards somebody, very likely the reason you're being drawn to them is because there's something in their appearance or in the behavior that you observe about them that is similar to your own. It's like something that's already familiar to you, and we tend to like what we know. Or it may be that they're, displaying a quality that you're striving to develop in yourself that you find attractive. So for example, if you want to become like really muscular, like it's a goal that you have to develop like really nice muscles in your body, and you happen to see somebody in the body that's like that has really good muscles, then you may be like, oh, let me go and connect with that person, and maybe I can learn from them. You have that kind of reaction. But what happens is that it's like once you really begin to get to know someone, your initial impressions, whatever they were, may be validated, and you find yourself, okay, yes, this person really does know what they're talking about. They really do know what they're, doing. And I really do like them. I really do like them as a person. They have a very good character. We can really get along. We have a lot in common, like not just at a surface level, but in meaningful ways. On the other hand, it's also entirely possible that as you get to know somebody more deeply, you begin to discover that, this is not going to work out. Because even though on the surface of things, everything looked really good, and they may be a really good person for you to hang out with, to get along or whatever, but actually maybe they have very different values than you do. Maybe there are things about their behavior when you get to know them more closely that you find are very incompatible with your own ways of thinking and behaving. So we do have to earn each other's liking. We do have to earn each other's liking in that context, and that's fine. So it's like, okay, awesome, all right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Now, the other aspect of wisdom that if you look at this thing, it's sort of like, a lot of times, normally what happens is that when we think about like and love, the concepts of like and love, we tend to think about them in almost opposite way than in which they are used in this particular saying. Normally we think of liking, it's like, oh yeah, liking, I can like many people. Okay, but there are very, very few people that I'm going to love in my life, or that I do love in my life. And we think of love, therefore, as a higher, more intense, more exclusive emotion, okay? As opposed to like, it's like, there are many, for example, as a woman, I may say, oh yes, there are many men that I like, but there's this one man that I really love, or, whatever. And so it's like, whoa, generally we think of the love being reserved for the few, and liking is much more generalized. It's much more easily bestowed. Now, the challenge that can emerge with this way of being, with our acting through this kind of framework, through this kind of understanding of the concepts of like and love, is that there are a lot of people in the world that you're neither going to love and neither are you going to like. So for example, the grocery store clerk that you happen to come across in the grocery store that you just went into, and it's not even like your normal grocery store, so it's not like the grocery, like you don't know that clerk, right? And so it's like, okay, I don't like this clerk and I don't love this clerk. Or what about people across the world? There are billions of people across the world that we've never seen, we've never heard from. And it's like, well, I don't like them and I don't love them. But what happens is that all of these people who are outside of our circle of like and love, because we don't like them, because we don't love them, we don't feel any sense of connection with them. We don't feel any sense of responsibility towards them. I don't care what's happening. Then it makes us not care about them. It makes us not care about what they might be going through. So for example, there are literally millions of people across the globe who are working really, really, really hard. And not only are they working hard, but they're working in really, really, really difficult conditions to produce all kinds of goods that are then brought to America to be sold at cheap prices, right? The reason that the companies who are producing those goods are having them manufactured in these third world countries as opposed to America is because they want cheap labor. They want to go into countries where there aren't as many laws protecting labor rights. So you can there are literally people who are working day in, day out in factories in third world countries and barely making enough money to survive. Not to mention the horrible conditions they're often working under. Extremely dangerous, extremely depressive, and all that kind of stuff. But because we neither like those people, nor do we love those people, we don't think about what those people are going through to produce the stuff for us, to satisfy our want for more stuff and for more cheap stuff. So we just go out into our markets here in America, and always we are looking for bargains. We want cheaper stuff. If there's, there are some brands out there that are more expensive, for example, because they have higher costs, because they're trying to be more environmentally and socially responsible in the way that they produce their products. The vast majority of us, we are not buying those products. Because what we care about is saving money for ourselves. And we're not thinking about what the impact of our choices is on other people across the world. Because we neither like those people, nor do we love those people. So we're not concerned about them. Not only are we not concerned about them, but we're not even recognizing that our actions, our choices are contributing to those people's being exploited, to those people's suffering in their everyday lives. But what happens? What's the truth of our lives? What's the truth of the nature of reality, of the world, the universe that we live in? The reality is that everything's interconnected and everything's interdependent. So when we leave so many people and beings and things outside of our circle of concern, outside of our circle of who we are going to love or like, then we end up becoming sometimes because we're being thoughtless, just because we are acting with unconsciousness, we end up contributing to problems, contributing to suffering. And because everything's interconnected and interdependent in our world and in our universe, it comes back to us. It comes back to us either directly or indirectly. Because there's only so much injustice that a people will take. There's only we'll only like these in these third world countries, for example. Only for so long and only so far will people suffer that kind of mistreatment and injustice, and then they'll rise for their rights. They will rebel, they will revolt. It causes wars, it causes friction. And then directly or indirectly it begins to impact us. So it's really, really critical for us that we shift our perspectives, we shift our understanding of these concepts of like and love, and shift them in ways that allow us to include everyone within our circle of concern. So if you go by this saying, if you take it on as your mindset that I love everyone unconditionally, but you earn my liking, then what happens? Yeah, everyone gets included in your circle of concern. Everyone, even the people who are across the world and you may have never seen them, you may have never heard from them directly, but when you become aware of the fact that, oh my God, these people across the world, they're being exploited, their labor is being exploited, their rights are being denied, and all in the name of producing cheap goods for me, for my convenience, living here in America and in a first world nation. Because you love everyone unconditionally, you're going to say, this is not acceptable. I refuse to support a system that is perpetuating this problem, that is perpetuating this injustice, this suffering. And so when you go out to shop and you have a choice between, buying, let's say, a household cleaner, one that is for $2 and the other one that's for maybe $5 or $3. Instead of just looking at the price tag and picking up the one that's cheapest, you're going to say, okay, which one is not only the best value in terms of money, but also the best value in terms of it's environmentally friendly. And it was produced by a company that treats its people well. And I'm going to take that into account when I think about the price and the cost and what I'm willing to pay. And the thing is that, we have a tendency to assume that the products that are produced in more environmentally friendly and socially responsible ways must be expensive, must be more expensive, must be significantly more expensive. But that's not even always the case. It's not even always the case. There are, in fact, many case studies of products and services that are being produced, and they're being done so in ways that are very socially and environmentally responsible. And people have found business models to produce these goods and services at very competitive rates that are very competitive in terms of very, very similar, close to, sometimes even lower than the other products that are produced in ways that are harming our environment, that are harming the people that are contributing to the like in terms of the workers, the labor force that is involved in producing those products. Look up the idea, do some research on the idea of social business, social entrepreneurship, and you will see that this is entirely possible. But it's about consciousness. It's about our being conscious in this way and demanding of ourselves and demanding of each other that we love each other unconditionally, that we treat each other with unconditional respect for each other's rights, and with empathy and with compassion. So think about this. Think about how you can apply this idea of unconditional love in your life and love more unconditionally in your life. And if this is something you find yourself struggling with, please reach out for help and support. And you know that I'm one person that you can reach out to. Just go to my website at www.academyofthriving.com, click on the Contact Us page, and you will see how you can connect with me. So until next time, I wish you lots of peace and joy.